Yes, Farkes. Hello. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, I'm back with this. I do this, but I do this. I want to do more than just a rating on the screen. I want to discuss one or two certain things in games. That's what we do over here. We like to discuss little things, different things that people are not really speaking about. That's what I enjoy doing. It's the niche side of the game, the different sides of it, the different parts, different pockets. And that's what we're going to do. I am not well, as you can probably tell by my probably deeper and better sounding voice. I wish it was normal, natural, but it isn't anyway. So thank you for sticking by, and I'm trying to get better. It's just thing after thing. It's jarring, but anyway, the goalkeeper actually something to speak about. To be fair, isn't it? So yeah, I thought it was solid. I do. I think it was solid. There's one or two things that I don't think as good as Meslier, which is natural. Different, literally different player. People are different, but coming out from his box was slightly hesitant on one or two occasions, and then his feet. You can tell that when we build up, one, we're less hesitant to use him, which is a problem, especially when you're being pressed. You need to be very reliant on your goalkeeper because he's literally a deeper option and he can go out either side. It's so important in possession teams when you're being pressed. So that is an issue for me. He's not terrible, but you can tell the player's not as confident. Yeah, so kicking, long kicking and stuff like that, but made a really good save, excellent save, and looked relatively solid. Didn't make silly decisions, didn't come out for everything, kind of made sensible decisions, caught most things. It was fine. Good to see. Well done, Caldalo. Good, not debut, but you know what I mean. First run into the actual team. The centre backs. I haven't got too much to say about these guys. I want to talk about some other positions, but I thought they were all right. You got to consider this, and this is always going to be a tough game for a centre back because you're playing against a front two, and them front two are physical beasts. And if I'm being honest, I think they dealt with them relatively well. These guys were doing decent in the Premier League last year, compared to the standard. And I actually think they're pretty good. I thought Stroud did pretty good in those duels. I thought Rodon was pretty decent in the duels. I think we're quite aggressive on him. I think it helped. They didn't cause us too many problems. A lot of their problems came from wide crossing areas, which we did speak about on the match build-up video, and we didn't stop it enough, which I thought we wouldn't. But I thought they were all right. I'm not going too much by them. I thought they were fine. I thought they were all right. Could be better. Could improve certain things, certain mistakes in the game. But again, I thought they were fine. Fullbacks again, similar, but this is kind of the narrative around the entire team now. It's just not at the level they can be, and it's quite frustrating. And there's a big reason for that, and that's obviously people are going to complain in the comments about the manager. Or, like I said, establish things that are out there. I like to talk about different things in these videos, otherwise I'm just repeating what others are saying. I don't want to do that. Otherwise, it's point of me doing something. I've got a different perspective on things, so I'll give a different perspective. These two, I think Firpo was poor. I think that's actually a kind rating, honestly. I just don't think they were decisive enough. It did overlap a few times with Junior Firpo, and he was found, but I do think his crosses were very poor into the box. His final decision making was poor, and we rely on that a lot, don't we, as a team? We know that, both of them. Bogle didn't really advance. I think Dan James was very high and wide. With the five at the back, I think he struggled to find spaces to advance, especially when they played two up top, just kind of considering those spaces he's leaving behind. But for whatever reason, they're not at the level. And this is the elephant in the room, right? I know what most of the comments are going to be like, and nothing to reply to them because that's your opinion. But why are these two not performing at a level they should be? This is my point to other things. These two have to do better as well. They're a key part of our team, and we need to see an up in performance, especially from Firpo, who's been here a while now. We need to see it. It's important. I don't think they look tired. I don't think that's the problem. They need to get through this now. That Firpo's had a bit of rest this season. He's been out injured. He's had rest. Red card suspension. Bogle, he's played a lot of minutes, but We need more from them now. This is the toughest part. We need more, simply. Not just on them though. In the midfield, Tanaka, it was one of them games for Tanaka. He always does. He did some really nice things, but they were really aggressive on him. And they tried and did well in cutting off bases where he could pass the ball forward dangerously, and that's down to them, their shape, and the movement of our front players, which was shocking in my opinion. We'll get into that. But yeah, Tanaka was. I mean, people say he was bad. He wasn't bad. I don't understand this. He wasn't bad. Obviously, he gets beaten too easy 2 or 3 occasions, gives the ball away on a few occasions. But again, it's about finding the intensity and the level of the team. These are individual things that only the individual players can sort out because it's their standard they set as a person, as a footballer. Whatever club they're at, they have a certain standard they set. And a lot of them performing below that. That's on them personally to get over that and perform better. Like, it's as simple as that. So, for these individuals, any individual that wants to improve as a person in terms of how they play their game and how they, in every club they are, under every system, the fundamentals they have that make them the good player, that's what they have to find. No one else can do that because that is you. So it was fine. I don't feel saying it was bad. I don't think he was terrible. He made some mistakes, and he did. It's a lot. His role kind of depends on the dynamic of the team around him because it's quite difficult. He's not someone who's going to get the ball, drive past players, powerful runner, is he? You need players around him to support that. But he's another one like the fullbacks who expect him to do more. And Ampadu I actually thought was pretty good, I'll be honest. I'll give him a 6. And the reason for it, and what I liked, and this is something that came up later in the game, around the 65th minute. Although the quality wasn't there, we did up the intensity, and we were putting in some outstanding tackles. Genuinely, I was happy to see that. Ampadu put in 3 or 4. Bogle put in a big one. There's a few others that put in a big one, and they were all fine. None of them were carded. Bogle got carded, but it weren't Bogle. It was Ampadu and a few others. They put in some big challenges, and we were winning them. We were winning the ball, and it was allowing us to attack. And it got the away fans going, the aggressiveness, that intensity. We need to channel that. And look, if Solomon can score a tap in at the back post, that intensity's kind of worked. Because we upped the game. We did, in terms of intensity. The quality never came, ever. But the intensity got upped. We were winning battles. Ampadu was flying into tackles, and I know you've got to toe the line, you've got to be careful. But that's where it's down to the individual then, who have that mindset. And he had it. I really liked that. And we need that. It's so key. And I hope they can carry this on the right line, towing that right line. Don't overdo it. So that's a little thing I noticed. The challengers started coming in and we were getting them clean and they were good, but you've got to be careful with them. But that is what we need to see. That's why I give him a slightly higher. He looked better than last week. He's getting there now, which is key. Wingers, yeah, look, I'll be really honest. Dan James scored a cracking goal, cut in it one with his left and curled it in the bottom corner. And do you know what he did? You guys know I'm harsh on wingers. I just am. And 6.5 is too high, I'll be honest. But I'm trying to pander for people. I know people will say, Scott, he was poor in the game. Tottenham was even worse than most of it. He had a little period where he was decent. Dan James scored an excellent goal, and this is what I want to talk about. And this is what we're not seeing from any individual in the front four, like even deeper. What Dan James did there was nothing extraordinary, nothing out of this world. He got the ball, and he just went, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to cut inside. I'm going to hit one. He was confident in his strike. He was decisive in his decision-making. And he went in. There was no miraculous tactics. There was no unbelievable build-up. There was none of this stuff. He got the ball, made a brave decision on the ball, and it resulted in a goal. This is what's frustrating. Can't think of any individual in our front 4, maybe even 6, and including the fullbacks. Maybe Firpo did once or twice. Apart from that, I can't think of any individual that risked or took a risk, took a brave moment, went 1v1. I hate it. I genuinely do. I don't like it when wingers don't go 1v1. Solomon, so many times, went wide, 1v1 situations, waited and waited and waited for that guy to engage him. But by the time the guy engaged him, he had cover. And the line was cut off. They could only pass it side or backwards. Whatever's happening, got to make that decision early as a winger. You have to. If you're running at that man, don't let him come to you. Go to him. Don't let him set. Don't let them have cover. You know, and I'll say, people know a lot about most people in anywhere know about football than me. I promise you on wingers. I was one for 20 years. I've at uni and everything. I did so much research in terms of for some of my uni work, my projects, and at the team on wing work. It is my thing. And I hate it when a winger gets the ball out wide, they stop, they slow down for longer than maybe 1 or 2 seconds. You think you're drawing them in, but what? You're just delaying the play. You're drawing them in, but by the time they're drawn in, they've got cover. So the option you were thinking is, I'm going to draw him in, then knock it round him. There's already a guy covering now. You have to be direct quickly. I was watching Forest and the Forest game and the Brighton game, and their wingers were just so, not even their wingers, their midfielders, every individual that could do it was so aggressive in 1v1 situations. There's a player at Feyenoord called Igor Paixão, who's one of my favourite wingers to watch in Europe, who I'd likely to sign if we got promoted, if we would be so lucky. And he makes mistakes, he loses the ball, his decision making's not ideal. Sometimes it isn't. My God, he's dangerous. Because every single time he gets that ball in a wide area, and it's a 1v1, he's sprinting at you from the go. The second he gets that ball, he's sprinting at you. So when you're set, he's coming at you full pelt. He's not waiting for you to come to him. He's going at you, and he's attacking that space. Our wingers need to do that. Dan James does it to an extent, but I still think he could do it more. We all know Dan James' best work is when he's off the ball runner. He's really direct, and I love that. That's another thing I love. This is less about him. Solomon needs... The thing about Solomon is he can do it. He can do that. I'm not going to get frustrated with a player that can't do something. Like, it's just pointless. He's just screaming at the wall. But he can. He's done it. And this is a frustration. I don't care who it is. I don't care if your name's Dan James, Nonto, Ramazani, Solomon. I don't care who you are. Every single one of them, regardless of who you rate better as a footballer, every single one of them, in my opinion, is better than this level, and is better than the fullback they come up against, and therefore should be beating their man 1v1. All of them, again, regardless of who you think's better, we can all accept, all of them are capable of beating their man in 1v1 situations. We have to start doing it. We have to start taking risks. It's jarring me, genuinely. We're going wide. We're creating the space. Every time, even in deeper areas, Solomon would get it. And there's a centre-back being dragged out into no man's land. And there's a massive space behind him to flick it round him or run round him. And he passes it back to Firpo, who's in pressure, who's under pressure. Beat your man. Please. This is what we need. And it's the same thing. Wingers need to beat the man. Strikers need to show for it more. We'll get onto him in a minute. Take the game. Be a guy who makes that moment. Like Dan James did. He just decided, I'm going to cut inside and hit this. And he hit it well, and it went in the corner. You don't have to be unbelievable to win this league when you've got the quality we have. But you've got to come out your shell. You've got to be brave, and you've got to beat your man in 1v1. It's a personal battle. GoPro. Again, as I just mentioned, he's not getting himself in scoring positions. And I know there's obviously, we have to give him it. We do. Lately, and I've said that all season. You know, I'm not going to go back on it. That is true. We do. But still, there is still situations where just saying, just move a little bit there, just find that space. Give him credit, and people are going to hate this. talking about this specific thing, right? Because again, I don't care about the name on the back. I'm talking about the player I'm looking at that I'm seeing. When Paddy came on, he stretched and occupied defenders extremely well. And it gave us something, didn't it? No one can disagree with that. Well, they can, obviously, but I think you're wrong. He did. He occupied and he stretched. Pro's not going to do that. He's got to find a way to be more effective in the game. It's as simple as that for him. He is what he is. He can't change what he is as a footballer. But he can use this, and he can analyse the games and find where the spaces might be and be direct, take shots. He doesn't shoot. He hasn't shot in ages, it feels like. It'll go in. These are the little things I keep speaking about. Nonto, who played in the 10 role. And I'll start by saying this. I think it was a tough one for whoever was in that role because there weren't a lot of space for a large part of the game, although the space did appear and he weren't there at times. I just think dynamic and the way we play needs someone in there that we don't have. And I'll keep saying that because I just believe that. That's what I believe. I believed it all season. I've not changed on that all season. A lot of people, and look, it's fine, said they want to see him in the 10. Not one of them caveated that with, it might take time for him to work in there. They said they want him in the 10. They said he can play there. Not one of them went, he can play there, but he might need 4 or 5 games. They said, get him in there. He can do it. He can change it. This is proof that you can't. There's so many different nuances. Like for their goal. For me, he loses the ball because his body positioning in that area is wrong. He's not in a position to defend the ball from the defenders behind him, and he's not in a position to be on the half turn. And he's kind of indecision of where to play the ball. He needed to secure the ball first. In those roles, it's important you secure the ball first. Because like I just said, if you lose it in those positions, the counter is always on. I just feel like he was busy. He tried to find areas. But I just felt the areas were not the right areas. A lot of the time, he was playing very close to the wingers. And that's fine. But when you're out there and you're not getting it, I'm screaming, and I wish I could show a clip. I might show one. There's times where he's gone out, and he's vacated the middle, and there's no one in there, not even an opposition player. And our midfielders have it, or our defenders have it, and I'm screaming for him. Now make that second movement. You made the first one, you didn't get it, that's good. You've got the man out the middle. I made that second movement back into that space. He didn't do it once. It's tough. I keep saying this, it's a hard role to play, especially in this system, because you have to work on little things to find spaces. You have to work in really tight areas. It didn't work. But what he has to do, Nonto, is, again at training, depending on what happens, I think he needs to play on the wing. I'll be honest. He needs to play on the wing. But he needs to work hard. He needs to analyse his game a lot. He needs to look at the footage, really analyse, go through with a coach or whatever, but really analyse little nuances of the game. Right, if I make this run, where should I go next if I don't get it? Where's the space? What does that mean? It's a hard role. From a winger to literally a midfielder is difficult. And a midfielder that's working in a little space, even more difficult. That's what he's got to do. Got to work hard now. If that's the role he's going to play for the rest of the season, we need him to find a way quickly to be effective in there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate all the support as usual. I'll see you guys in a bit. This one was longer than I expected. I'm in the bin. I feel terrible, but thank you for all the support and love. Let's do this, eh? Bye-bye.